Thanks for tuning in to see what's happening around Grace Church as we look at all that God has been doing, and as I've been thinking about just what has happened here in the life of the church as we've experienced this season of peace, this time of growth, and this time of just being able to seek the Lord together. It made me think of God's faithfulness. It made me think of just His call from the beginning, that this is what He said He would do, that He would grow His church, that He would reach across the nations, that there would be all kinds of people all around the world who would be blessed through those who bear God's name. And this goes all the way back to Abraham in Genesis 12. And I want to read this to you because as God teaches Abraham to look forward, He's teaching us to look forward. And watch what He does here in Genesis 12 as He comes to Abram when his name is actually Abram. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." You see, when God comes to Abram and He tells him that He wants him to take a step of faith, that He's calling him to this life of relationship with the King of Kings, that you're going to have to leave some things behind, that you're going to have to learn how to let go of relationships. You're going to have to learn how to let go of some of the things you've enjoyed and the land that you've known and all of these different elements that Abram had known at this point. He said, it's going to require sacrifice, but let me tell you, it is going to be a great reward. There's going to be a spiritual richness of walking with me where you're going to receive blessing from me personally, and it's going to grow in you, and as it grows in you, it's going to spill over into others, and those who respond to me through you, they're going to be blessed. Those who reject it, they're not going to be blessed, right? Like, I am with you, I am for you, because you are going to go as my agent. It's recognizing that we are not our own, but that we are bought with a price. And so as we stop and aim to look forward as a church, we have to stop and ask, what is it that the Lord is asking of us? What does it look like for us to move forward in faith? And I think the word that Pastor Tom brought on Sunday was a great word, written from the book of Colossians, that if we would learn to walk worthy, if we would learn to embrace the practices of the Christian life where we're growing in spiritual maturity, we're growing in understanding of God's word and applying it, but we're also growing in our action, that we are ministering, that we are serving, that we are doing the works of Christ throughout the community for the purposes of worshiping God, of being who He has called you to be. And as we do this, we've had more and more opportunity because we've people who are coming to church. There's more people who you can invest in. There's more people who you can reach. There's more people who you can pour into, who you could consider mentoring or being mentored by in the faith as we grow together. And it's really an exciting thing. But it also gives us an ability to look forward to something that we've prayed about a lot as church leadership over the years. Even before I came, there's been discussion for the last 15 years of having a church plant, of starting a multi-site of some kind, of growing the network as a regional church, that we would have a developing relationship with other churches where we can help those who are hurting, where we can give relief to those who need it. We could think of Pastor John right now as he's in Velch, and he's been there for the past 4 weeks, replacing Joe Basso for a time so that Joe can have a meaningful break that has been well-deserved and needed to help him come back and minister better there. We could think of the church up in Ironwood that followed us for 9 months online while they were trying to figure out what their future looked like. They watched our services, and at different times we had pastors who were traveling up there to go in to serve them, to preach to them, to minister to them, and to get to know them and encourage them in the faith. You see, the Lord is positioning us in a way where we're growing our network. where we have other trusted relationships with churches and pastors, and we're seeing a growing unity of God's church as we work together for the sake of the gospel. And so as we look forward together, I want to invite you to pray with us. That there are some opportunities coming up that we as leadership are looking into and we're excited about. And we want to share with you once we're able, once we have some things more solidified and grounded and know this is what God is leading us into. But there are some really exciting opportunities that I just want you to ask. I just want to ask you to pray that God would lead us in these, that God would reveal his purposes and his plan, that he would help us to lean in well, and to know that in the days ahead there may be new types of opportunity for you to use the gifting that God has given you. That as God has blessed you to be a blessing, there may be new ways for you to engage and to play a role in what's developing in the weeks, months, years to come. And so we look forward with anticipation. We look forward knowing that God has already set the path, and we are simply to just be in step with him, that he is in control, that he will lead us and guide us through it. And we want to just continue to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray that the Lord's will would be done in and through us, that we would not drift to the right or to the left, but that we would follow him with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, committing all that we are to him, that he might reign throughout Delta County and throughout the UP. Would you pray with us to that end, that we would have a growing network of churches, that there would be opportunity for church planting or multi-site ministry, or even restoring and helping a hurting church, whatever the case may be, however the Lord might use us in the days ahead. Would you pray to that end, so that we might be fruitful in the ministry, so that we might be led by his Spirit? We're excited to worship with you on Sunday.